You so much for joining me today. I have a wonderful, relaxing routine in store for you today. I hope you will really enjoy it. It's a little bit different than we've done before, even if you've taken some yoga classes with me. We are going to be focusing on flexibility and holding some of these postures a lot longer than we are used to. I'm talking about 60 to 90 seconds for some of them. So it's going to be very helpful if you have a couple of props close by, not just a nice mat, but also something like a yoga block. So it could be maybe a couple of thick books or rolled up towels, pillows, anything that's going to help you be a little bit more comfortable in some of these postures today. We're going to start like we always do with a nice warm up, and then we'll go into some movements that are going to help with that wonderful flexibility. So if you're looking for a little bit more relaxation today, this is going to be a great routine for you. So we are going to start warming up, getting onto our feet, placing our feet about hip distance apart, then sweeping those arms up overhead. Hinge from the hips as you bring the arms behind you. So we're coming into high mountain, right into eagle. Taking it slowly, controlling the movement, making it as big as you like. Now, something I do want to mention before we get into the meat of the workout today is that we are going to be holding some of these postures for quite a long time. But you are welcome to come out of the postures at any time if they get to be really uncomfortable, or if you're noticing any strain or pain in your muscles or joints. So you have my complete permission to do that. And then just to hold in something that is comfortable, like child's pose or down dog or just sitting tall until you're ready to come back in today. This will be our last one. Relax your arms, separate those feet a little bit wider. Feet turn slightly out. Big stretch up as you cross the arms. We're going to squat as we bring the arms forward. So we're crossing them on the way up, crossing them on the way down. These are called moon squats. I don't know why, but that's what they're called. I love them because they're using a lot of muscle here. We're creating good warmth, just like we need to do for a big dynamic stretch routine we have in store today. Good. Let's do a couple more. Maybe getting a little bit lower if you feel like those legs are warm. All right, we'll come right up to standing. Maybe separate those feet even wider, turning the toes out or the feet out from the hips. So you're actually turning it out from the hips a little bit more. And we'll just start to lean one way and then the other, bending those knees, feeling some gentle stretch in our legs. Good, taking it nice and easy. So we're not going to be getting our heart rate up today, but it doesn't mean this isn't super beneficial for our bodies, just in a different way. I'm going to start to hinge from my hips a little bit more. And I'm going to add some arms. Same side arm and leg, straighten, and then you switch to the other side. So right arm and leg straight, left arm and leg straight. Good, really stretching from fingertips to fingertips here. I apologize for any background noise. Got an airplane going overhead right now. That's just one disadvantage of doing this outside. But it's another beautiful day. I wanted to take advantage of it. So even if you watch this workout again on a day that's cold and snowy, it's a good reminder that warmer days are right ahead. All right, come to center. Feet are going to face forward now, hinging from the hips. We're going to come all the way down to the floor if that's comfortable for you, or you can always place your hands on your shins or on your thighs. And just relax into this stretch for a moment. And if you're a fan of twists, you can set your right hand right in the center in front of you. Stretch your left arm up toward the sky. Then we'll lower that left arm, place that hand in the center, rotate, and lift up the other. Come back to center, and we're getting ready to start into our first long hold. It's going to be a short, wide downward dog. So our legs are already in the position that we're going to be in. Hands are just going to set down right in front of you. Now this is where we can use our props. If you want a little bit of assistance here, you can set them up right here under your hands. And that way it's like bringing the ground up a little bit closer to you. And what we're targeting here are our hamstrings. Yes, that's my obnoxious dog. I apologize. And I really want you to pay attention to breath today. We are going to focus a lot on deep breathing to help our muscles to really relax into these stretches. So inhale for 4 counts through your nose. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out through your mouth for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, at any time, if you'd like to come out of this position, you are welcome to. Hands can be on your shins, hands can be on your thighs, whatever feels best. Nice, slow, deep breaths. This is a great way to get really flexible, is holding these stretches for a much longer time. We're almost there. Now to come out of this, we're not going to stand up. We're going to come to a tabletop instead. So you're going to drop one knee down and then the other until you're on all fours. And head is going to be parallel to the ground. So you're not looking up, you're not dropping it down. We're trying to get that blood to flow back where it needs to before we rise up. We don't want to get dizzy and fall over today. If you feel ready, go ahead and tuck your toes into the floor. Lift your hips into a down dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. Keeping a bend in the knees, slowly round up to standing. Taking as much time as you need, your head will be the last thing to rise up. All right, hopefully those hamstrings and low back feel nice and stretched out. All right, inhale up. Exhale into chair or squats. You're sinking your hips back, bending the knees. Inhale, rise up. Maybe separate those hands at the top. Join them together as you squat. Inhale, lift. So we're bringing some warmth back into our legs. Trying to avoid overarching the back. There's our little noisemaker right there. Good, big reach up. Coming down. You ready to add some twists? On the way down, let's twist to the right. Big stretch up. Twist to the left. Big reach. Paying attention to how your knees feel. Some days we need to take it a little more shallow. Other days we feel great, we can go a little lower. Now the next time I come down in a twist, let's hold. So we're twisting to the right, holding either up a little higher or maybe set down your left elbow across that right thigh and hold. So now we're working strength, not so much flexibility. Come back to center, big stretch up. Join the palms together, coming into that squat, this time twisting to the left. Only as far as is comfortable for you today. Back to center. Big stretch up. Relax the arms down. All right, quick shake out. We're getting ready to come into our second long hold posture. It's going to be in a forward fold position. So have your props close by, maybe right in front of you, in case you'd like to use them. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, so you're creating that nice long spine. And then you're going to come into a relaxed forward fold. Really important to here to have a bend in your knees to relieve any pressure on your back. You can use your props to set your hands on. I recommend palms up so you're not pressing into the block or to the ground. Or for a really deep stretch, you can grab onto opposite elbows and just hang right here. So we're focusing on similar muscles as we stretched earlier when we did our short, wide dog. But this one's going to be a little bit more intense. You might be feeling this stretch in your hamstrings. Maybe you're feeling it more in your back. Maybe you're feeling it down your calves or your ankles. It kind of gives you an indication of where you might be really tight. And remember that nice, slow breath. Inhaling through the nose for a count of 4. Exhaling out through the mouth, slightly contracting or constricting your throat for a count of 8, or as close to that as you can. Remember, you have permission to come out of this stretch at any time. Keeping in mind you want to do it slowly. And another option here, if this is just not working for you today, is to sit on the floor and come into a forward fold and hold. And you can use your props here to even like set under your head to make it a little bit more comfortable. So there's lots of options. So these 60 to 90 seconds seem like a really long time when we're here. But that's about how much time we need to really let those muscles fully relax and release. Let's do one more inhale and exhale. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To come out, bend your knees a little bit more. And slowly, slowly, slowly start to roll up. Very carefully, your head will be the last thing to come up. As much time as you need, because we were in an inverted position for quite a while, so take your time coming up. When you're there, let's do some shoulder rolls to kind of ease out some of those stretched muscles. We're going to bring the shoulders forward, up toward the ears, back and down. So full, big, slow circle here. Take those nice deep breaths. Not quite as slow and deep as the 4 and 8 count, but close. And the next time your shoulders are down and back, I want you to hold them right here. And either take your fists in your low back, or palms on the top of the glutes, or interlace your fingers so you can really get a nice stretch across the front of your torso. Now, I know how I have a tendency to really arch the back when I do that. So conscious effort to point the tailbone towards the floor, engage your core, nice neutral spine as you enjoy this stretch. Lots of people enjoying outside today. Now, this is not going to be one of our long held stretches, but we are going to be here for a while just to get that nice posture opening. Let's come back to neutral. Very good. A little quick shake out. And you are welcome to grab water at any time. All right. Props still close by. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. We've been here before. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands all the way to the floor. And then you're going to walk your feet back into down dog. So regular down dog here looks like an upside down V. Get nice and solid in this position. Then take your right leg up towards the sky. And then sweep it underneath. And you're going to set it down on the mat into pigeon. So you have a nice bend in that knee. Knee is turned out toward the edge of the mat. Right here. If you want, you can use your props to help you sit up a little taller. We're not going to hold this part for very long, but it does feel nice to sit really high. Shoulders down, relaxed away from the ears, getting a nice opening in the hip flexors of that back leg, opening up the hip of the front leg. All right, we're ready to come into our held posture. So we're going to start to work our way down toward the ground. And this is where the props can also be used, right? You can prop your arms up here so you can set your head down. Remember, we're going to be here for 60 to 90 seconds. So anything you need to make that time a little bit more comfortable, I encourage you to do that. And this is also one of those stretches that people feel in different parts of their body depending on what's really tight. So maybe you're feeling this in that front hip. Maybe you're feeling it in your back. As long as it's not painful, you're okay. Again, if there's anything pinching, pulling, shooting pain, that is not a good thing. You need to come out of that stretch. Find something a little bit more comfortable for you today. I'm just offering some suggestions, but I want you to listen to your body. Remember that nice, slow, deep breath, inhaling through the nose, 4 counts. Even 3 counts. If you're not used to deep breathing, it might be a little quicker, and that's okay. But we're trying to exhale longer than we inhale to really turn on our parasympathetic nervous system that's going to help our muscles to find that nice, relaxed state. One more deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly, slowly start to come up out of that long held pigeon. We're going to come into down dog. So tuck your back big toe into the mat. Carefully lift your hips and bring, that very stretched out front leg into down dog. It should feel really good to hold in down dog for a moment. Get that blood flowing through the legs again. All right, ready for the other side. Lift up the left leg. And then sweep that leg underneath. Setting it down where it's comfortable for you in pigeon today. If you've got your props handy, they can help you get a little taller if you like. If you don't want to be that high, you don't have to. We do want to set those shoulders down, creating that long neck. And this is a wonderful stretch for the hip flexor muscles, but we're going to have an even better stretch shortly for that. All right, are you ready? So props can still be there for you if you need them, but we're going to come a little closer to the ground to deepen the stretch on that front hip. So get comfortable here. It's helpful to have some support for your upper body, whether it's propped up on your hands or using your props. And then just try to get as comfortable and relaxed as you can. Just settle in here. Coming back to that deep, slow breath. Just think about the tension in your muscles releasing more and more with each breath. Let's take one more deep breath together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out your mouth, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ever so slowly start to rise up. Walk your hands in a little closer. Tuck the back big toe into the mat. Carefully lift your hips. Bring that leg into down dog. Oh, feels so good to come out of those stretches. So we'll hold it here for just a moment. Go ahead and set your knees down. So we're back into tabletop. Hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. We'll take a few cat-cow stretches just to make that back feel really good. So on your inhale, you're going to drop the belly toward the ground, head and tailbone tip up. On your exhale, scoop the belly button up, head and tailbone down. So this is great flexibility work for the muscles along the spine. Exaggerating these movements as much as you like, matching the movement to the breath. And then we'll come to neutral. Your right foot, big step forward. And I'll show you this one from the front. So notice both hands are on the inside of this leg. So we have a little bit of an external rotation in this leg and a major hip flexor stretch right here. So props, I'm going to use them for this. 1 or 2. Right here. So it's a low runner's lunge. And I want you to get as deep as you comfortably can. So that might be coming down onto your forearms here. Maybe you can get all the way to the ground without props. My hips are quite tight, so I'm going to keep these blocks here. Head and neck nice and relaxed. Now this is similar to a lizard pose in yoga, but we're not really looking at perfect posture form today. We are just trying to get into positions that really help with our flexibility, even if they look just a little bit sloppy. And that doesn't mean they're unsafe, right? We still want to have good control, paying attention to good biomechanics. But we're not looking for the perfect posture today. So if you have tight hips, you might really be feeling it in your hip right now. Or maybe you're really feeling those hip flexors and that back leg release. I'll admit this is not one of my favorites, but it's one I need to do. One more nice deep breath. In and out. And when you're ready, start to rise up. And we're going to very carefully bring that front foot back. I like to pull my hips back a little bit before I swing it back. All right, sink those hips down onto your heels. We're coming into child's pose. I'm going to encourage you to bring your knees a little wide today. I think that's going to feel better after that deep stretch we just did. Go ahead and walk your hands over to the right side. That's going to give you a nice stretch down the left side of the body. And then slowly walk your hands over to the left. And then walk your hands back to center. And then walk your hands in towards you as you sit up from your child's pose. We've got the other side. So, big step forward now with the opposite leg. Have those props close by. So both hands on the inside of this leg. Back knee is down. And if you have blocks or something similar to blocks, there's lots of different levels, right? So you can change the level of the block to meet your needs. And if you're looking for something deeper, maybe the forearms can come down. Now, this is one of those stretches where you can really notice muscular imbalances, right? You may notice one hip a lot tighter than the other. So you want to honor both sides. Head and neck heavy and relaxed. If you're really fighting a certain stretch, you can always come out of it. And on your exhale, sink back in. And you can do that as many times as you need. I know I've said it probably 2 or 3 times already, but you have permission to come out of these stretches whenever you need to for good. Otherwise, relax. Focus on the deep breath. One more inhale and exhale, nice and slow. And whenever you're ready, you're going to lift the torso, pull the hips back a little bit, and then bring the leg back into child's pose again. Separating those knees, sinking those hips back. Now for this version of child's pose, I'm going to encourage you to try spider fingers. So hands are forward and the pads of the fingers pressing into the ground. That's going to give you a little bit of a deeper stretch in your shoulders. Start to walk your hands in toward the body. Coming out of child's pose for just a moment. Shoulder rolls. All right, so that was a lot of lower body stretching. So we're going to focus a little bit on the upper body for a moment. We're going to come into what we call Sphinx. So onto your tummy, legs long behind you, elbows set up under your shoulders, arms parallel to each other. Now here it's really tempting to slouch, but we're not going to do that today. So lots of space between your ears and your shoulders, energy running down those legs. So they're not really stretching or working right now, but they're also not just hanging out. I want you to think about shining your heart forward. This is a little harder than it looks if you're doing it right. I like to spread fingers wide. This is not going to be one of our 60 to 90-second holds. We are going to be here for a bit. On the inhale, you can feel your belly pressing down into the ground. And then slowly lower down. Bring your hands by your chest. Lift the hips into tabletop. And now we will sit, bringing our legs forward. Now that was back extension. So now we're going to come into spinal flexion while we also open our hips and get a nice stretch there. So bring your legs into a diamond position, joining the soles of the feet together. Have your props close by. And then just melt right here, bringing the chest a little closer to the ground. Head and neck heavy, relaxed. And you can hold right here if it's comfortable. Otherwise, you can bring a prop over and maybe set it down right under your head. This is going to be one of our long held postures. So get comfortable here. Maybe palms up if you find like you're kind of pushing into the ground with your palms facing down. It's less likely you'll do that if your palms are facing up. Inhaling slowly through the nose. Exhaling even slower out through the mouth. One more slow breath in and out. Then slowly rise up. Straighten those legs. That was a great hip opener. Maybe give them a little shake out. Sitting nice and tall. All right, spinal twist is next. So I'm going to bend my right leg, knee up toward the ceiling. You can keep the foot on the same side or cross it over for a little bit of a deeper stretch. And we're going to be twisting toward that bent knee. Opposite hand can be in front of the knee or behind for a little more leverage. Always sitting tall before you rotate. Not one of our long postures, but we'll be here for a bit. Slowly untwist. You've got that foot crossed over, bring it back. Switch your legs. Sitting tall and twisting the other way, only as far as is comfortable for your back. Excellent. Untwist. Relax. All right, next, we'll roll onto our backs into bridge position. So knees will be bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Couple of options here. Option one, hips lifted, kind of scoot your shoulder blades closer together underneath and interlace your fingers. Now, if you want to hold right here, there's a lot of strength going on. You're using a lot of muscular energy here. If you'd rather focus on a stretch, grab one of your props and you can set it right at the top of your glutes right there. And either keep your knees bent, or for a great hip flexor stretch, you can straighten your legs. But if that's a little bit much on your back or on your hip flexors, rebend those knees. Another long held stretch right here. So find the deep breath. And don't turn your head side to side when you're here. Just keep it centered. I'll let you know what's going on. Maybe palms face up toward the sky. Slowly inhaling. Slowly exhaling. One more slow inhale and exhale. And then we'll begin to come out of this posture. So if you've got your hands or your fingers interlaced, go ahead and unrelease and slowly lower your hips down. If you're here with me, you've got a prop underneath. Lift your hips up just a bit so you can slide that prop back out, and then carefully lower your hips down. Let that low back settle into the ground, and then bend one knee and then the other. You're going to get even better back stretch right there. Maybe rolling a little side to side. Well, I hope you're feeling very good right now. We have one more deep stretch coming up. This one's going to focus on the inner thighs. So back to center, feet on the ground. Your feet are connected, but you're going to let those knees open to the side. Now, this is going to come in very handy. If you want, you can set up your blocks or your pillows or your towels right under each knee. Or if you feel comfortable, you can set them to the side and just let them stretch right here. I like to bring my arms to a cactus position because that's going to open up my chest and shoulders a little bit. Great opening posture right here. Find that deep breath once more. So we have done so much progress, made so much progress in our flexibility today. But ideally, you're going to continue doing some of these stretches, especially the ones that spoke most to you today, on a very regular basis. And you may find that you pass that 90-second mark and you want to hold them for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I don't recommend anything more than 5, though. But if what you can do today is 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that's awesome. Work from wherever you are. Go ahead and carefully bring those knees back together. Lengthen those legs long down your mat. Arms reach overhead, long body stretch. I almost always finish our yoga workouts with this one. And then bring those arms down alongside your body. Just release any tension from the legs, from the feet, from the thighs, from the stomach, from the chest, from the shoulders, from your neck, from your face. And let's take a couple of nice, deep, slow breaths together. Inhaling through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling out through the mouth, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and roll onto one side, kind of like into fetal position. If you want, you can prop your arm up on or your head up on your arm. Just kind of letting that blood flow back. And you can stay here as long as you want, or if you're ready, you can carefully push up to a seated position. Kind of right back where we started. All right, so that was our deep stretch yoga flow for today. Like I said, a little bit different. We're holding it a little bit longer than we normally do. But I hope that you feel wonderful, you feel flexible, you feel relaxed. I really appreciate you honoring me with your time today. Stay fit, stay well, and remember you are blessed.